Got some leftover bacon grease you don't know what to do with? Don't pour it down your drain. Put it in the pot with your canola oil. We're going to start making some potato chips. We're going to use some salt, 1/4 cup. We're going to use some pepper, 1/4 cup, and some garlic, granulated garlic, 1/4 cup. Going to mix those all together, and here we have our chip seasoning. What we're doing is we have really cold water with salt and really hot water with salt. So to be prepared, you obviously need your potatoes, a cold water bath, salt water, hot water bath, salt water, an area to dry your potatoes, your seasoning, a thermometer, your seasoning bowl, and you want to have it close to your fry pot for convenience, which that's coming up to temperature. And as a reminder, we used bacon fat as well as canola oil. So another thing you want to do, keep your canola oil canister nearby. A couple reasons. Some people like to reuse it. I'm not one of those people, but it's easier to discard rather than putting it down your drain. And then last thing you need is a mandolin. You can leave your skins on. You can take your skins off. Today, I'm gonna leave the skins on. So let's do a quick test slice. See the thickness of the chip. It goes. Actually, that gives me plenty right there. We're still gonna make them, but mix the chips around. So you can see the thickness. It's a little, some of them are a little wonky, but you're not going to have a perfect chip. There's no such thing as a perfect chip. The taste is perfect. That's about it. So the point of the water bath, from what I can gather with salt water, is to just give yourself the ability to take some of the starchiness off the potatoes. You want to use russet potatoes to kind of help you with it, and I think the hot water bath does the same thing. Some people pre-boil them. It's not a bad idea. So once the oil hits 350 degrees, you're good to go. I wouldn't go much higher than 350. You start burning the oil. So you can, once you add the chips in, it's probably going to drop in temperature because the chips will be lower in temp. But if you're operating anywhere between 3 and 350, you're fine. Also, an important thing to remember, your fry pot should always have the lid. If you don't have the lid, you're working with a major fire hazard, especially when it comes to oil. You can never be too cautious. Really, if you want to make the chips however the heck you want, go for it. Chips are chips. You can make them however you want. You can peel the potatoes first. Peel them. You could not peel the potatoes first. Don't peel them. I didn't peel them, but sometimes I do. The chip at the end, I like it crispy. I like it cooked thoroughly. I don't like the chewiness in it. I don't mind a little chewiness, but if you get some super chewy potato, to me it's undercooked, and it really is. So a chip should be crispy, should be delicious. The seasoning I'm using, just salt, pepper, garlic. 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup. That's it. You could do mustards, like a powdered mustard. You could do a steak seasoning like Montreal steak. You could do a number of things. It really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. The other chip, barbecue. Of course, we're oink, cluck, moo, barbecue. So we're going to do a barbecue chip today. And what rub am I going to use? You can do whatever rub you want. You can buy a commercial rub, any kind of barbecue seasoning. You could use this that my wife picked up off the clearance rack, and that's fine too. You could use some commercial rubs, and one of the ones I really do like, Vortex. It's good. It's a really good rub. Another one I have, it's called Wanna Rub. Anyway, you could use that. Or you could use, speaking of Wanna Rub, you could use the good old Oink Cluck Moo Ball Rub. Anyway, whatever you want to do. They're delicious. All right, we hit 350 degrees. Make sure when you are measuring the temperature, you're doing it from the center of the pot, not hitting the bottom, because you don't want to get false temperatures. That was my shoddy attempt at trying to use a tripod in a weird way. So stir those chips around, because unlike COVID, they don't have to be social distancing. Let them get to know each other. Let them party in there. Now to give you context, when I make the chips, I try to make large batches. I'm not going to make the whole 10-pound bag. I mean, the state stores just closed. We might have to make our own vodka. We may. But anyway, I like to make a pretty decent sized batch. I like to fill a container so we have it over a couple days. So while they're frying, we still have these chips sitting there drying. That's actually the first batch we dried. I should have probably taken it from the bottom, but oh well, I cheated. This is the next batch of chips that I made. Sitting in the water, just soaking away. We're lining this bowl with some paper towels. We're gonna throw the chips in there, check them, but I'm telling you what, we're gonna toss them back in the fryer, and I'll explain in a second. So we see the chips, they're kind of getting nice and brown. They have that browning like a potato chip would, compared to what they used to look like, just white. So what we're gonna do before they get too brown, we're gonna transfer them over to the paper towel super quick. Woohoo! Papoo and papoo. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take them. We're gonna just it's about 2 inches. Get them all. Now they're still pliable. You see that? I don't like that. That's undercooked. So you know what you gotta do? You gotta drop it back in the fryer. Yeah, it makes it super crunchy chips, and that's what we're looking for. Best part about making chips, you get to taste them. You have to. You have to make sure the consistency is spot on, the flavor's right there, the seasoning's all perfect. You have to. If you don't, well, you just wasted all your damn time. So look at these bad boys. They're nice and brown. And despite the chips that you get in the bags that are not brown and they're perfectly white, I always wonder what makes them that way. Really question the chemicals and stuff they might be plopping in there. That is a chip. So this is what we do. Boom. Take some of your seasoning, just pinch it up like that, a nice happy. You got to make that sound too. If you don't make that sound, it didn't happen. You didn't make the chips. You just shake them up in your paper towels, let them dry for a second, let them cool off. And while they're cooling off, You just want them to sit. You just want them to sit and relax.
All right, it's time to taste test. Oh, yeah. I just had to go outside and get my mail. I can't take any precautions while you're in quarantine. So we're gonna try a chip. Oh, damn it. Oh, of course. Okay. Do you hear that crunch? Do you hear that crunch, America? That is called quarantine success. If you like what you saw today, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Have them watch. Have them all laugh at me. It's fine. I can take it. But to follow up, I did make a batch of the barbecues. Now that is a barbecue potato. Ball rub. Ball jar. Hey. Thanks again for watching. I know this was a long video, but I had to watch a ton of videos to really learn the ins and outs of making potato chips. Stay safe, everyone, in the quarantine. And hey, don't forget to wash those hands before you eat your potato chips.